There's a number every AI investor is ignoring right now, and it's going to hit harder than any earnings miss ever could. It's not about chips, it's not about demand, it's about something so basic that nobody thought to question it until 3 weeks ago: electricity. My name is Alex, and I've spent the last decade watching AI companies promise infinite growth. But growth needs power. And for the first time since this boom started, the power is running out faster than anyone can build it. Stick with me for the next few minutes, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why I think the market is about to reprice every AI stock you own, and which 5 companies I'm loading up on while everyone else panics. The assumption everyone is making. Every AI valuation on Wall Street right now rests on one quiet assumption: that data centers can keep scaling as fast as companies are willing to spend. More capital, more GPUs, more compute, more revenue. That's the whole story. But over the last month, that assumption has started cracking in a place nobody was watching: the grid. Here's the problem in plain numbers. A single modern AI training cluster can now pull more electricity than a mid-sized American city. Nvidia's newest rack architecture draws over 0.5 megawatt on its own, and companies are planning to deploy tens of thousands of these racks. The compute exists. The chips eventually will exist, but the power lines, substations, and transformers to feed them do not exist yet. And building them takes years, not quarters. The transformer shortage nobody is talking about. Let's start with the part of the story that barely gets any airtime: power transformers. These are the massive units that step voltage up and down as electricity moves from the grid into a data center. They are not made on an assembly line like a phone or a laptop. Large power transformers are custom built, one at a time, using specialized steel that only a handful of mills in the world can produce. Lead times for these transformers have stretched past 3 years in some cases. 3 years. For a single piece of equipment that a data center cannot operate without. It doesn't matter how much cash a hyperscaler is willing to spend. You cannot buy your way to the front of a 3-year queue when there are only a few factories on the planet capable of building what you need. This is the exact same trap the chip industry fell into with EUV lithography machines. Except almost nobody is pricing it into AI stocks yet because it's boring. It's not a flashy GPU announcement. It's steel and copper and a waiting list. But boring bottlenecks are still bottlenecks. The grid connection queue. Even after a data center gets its transformers, it still has to connect to the actual electrical grid. And that queue is even worse. In some of the biggest data center hubs in the country, the wait time to get a new large-scale connection approved and energized now stretches past 4 years. Utilities are telling developers, bluntly, that there simply isn't spare capacity on the existing grid to hand out. That's why you're seeing AI companies suddenly signing deals to build or restart their own power plants, nuclear, gas turbines, even decommissioned reactors being brought back online. That's not a growth strategy. That's a company admitting the public grid can't feed them fast enough, and they're being forced to become their own utility just to keep training their models. The memory chip squeeze. Now stack a second bottleneck on top of the first one: high bandwidth memory, or HBM. Every advanced AI chip needs enormous amounts of HBM stacked right next to it to feed data in and out fast enough to be useful. There are only 3 companies on Earth that can produce this memory at the volumes AI chips require, and all 3 have said publicly that their advanced HBM output is essentially sold out more than a year in advance. Here's why that matters more than most investors realize. You can have a warehouse full of finished processors and still not be able to ship a single usable AI server because there isn't enough memory to pair with them. The chip is only half the product. Without the memory sitting next to it, it's an expensive paperweight. So now we have 3 separate ceilings stacked on top of each other. transformers that take years to build, grid connections with multi-year waitlists, and memory chips that are already sold out into next year. Every one of these has to clear before a single new AI data center can run at full capacity. And none of them can be solved by simply spending more money faster. Why the market is just now waking up. For the last 2 years, AI stocks have traded almost entirely on demand signals. How many GPUs got ordered, how big the next data center announcement is, how aggressive the CapEx guidance sounds on an earnings call. Almost nobody was pricing in the physical constraints sitting underneath all of it. That started changing recently. A handful of utility companies quietly disclosed that they're rationing new large load connections. A couple of memory manufacturers raised prices sharply and cited capacity constraints instead of demand as the reason. And several planned data center campuses got pushed back by a year or more, not because of falling demand, but because the power simply isn't there yet. None of this made front-page headlines. It trickled out in earnings calls, utility filings, and regional energy board meetings, the kind of unglamorous places that most retail investors, and honestly, most financial media, never look. But if you connect the dots, it paints a very different picture than the unlimited scaling story that's been priced into these stocks. Why this is a buying opportunity, not a reason to panic. I want to be clear about something. This isn't a story about AI demand collapsing. Demand is still climbing. This is a story about a timing mismatch. The industry building faster than the physical world can support it, followed by a rough patch, followed by an enormous payoff for the companies that own the actual bottlenecks. That's the pattern with every infrastructure build-out in history. Railroads, telecom fiber, cloud computing. The picks and shovels companies that control the scarce physical layer get squeezed by demand and then reward patient shareholders for years afterward. So, here are the companies I'm watching closely as this correction plays out, the ones sitting directly on top of these bottlenecks. Stock number 1, grid and transformer equipment. The first place I'm looking is the small group of companies that actually manufacture power transformers and grid switching equipment. When lead times stretch past 3 years and utilities are rationing connections, the few manufacturers who can build this equipment get to set their own pricing and their own terms. Their order backlogs are already stretching years into the future, which gives investors an unusual amount of visibility into revenue that's still years out from being recognized. When there's more demand than any competitor can supply, that pricing power tends to show up in margins long before it shows up in headlines. Stock number 2, on-site power generation. Second, I'm watching companies that build the gas turbines and on-site generation equipment that data centers are turning to because the public grid can't keep up. If hyperscalers are being forced to build their own power plants just to keep their AI ambitions alive, the handful of companies capable of manufacturing turbines at scale become just as critical as the chip makers themselves, arguably more critical, since without power, none of the chips matter at all. Stock number 3, high bandwidth, memory producers. Third are the memory manufacturers producing high bandwidth memory. With output sold out more than a year in advance, these companies are in the same position TSMC was in with chip packaging, a hard production ceiling that no amount of customer demand can break through in the short term. That kind of scarcity usually shows up first in pricing power and margin expansion, well before it shows up in the stock price. Stock number 4, grid software and efficiency. Fourth, I'm looking at companies that help utilities and data center operators squeeze more capacity out of the grid that already exists. Software and hardware that manages load, predicts demand, and helps utilities safely push more power through existing infrastructure without waiting years for new transformers. When physical expansion is capped, efficiency becomes the next best lever, and the companies selling that efficiency tend to get pulled along with the build-out, even when construction slows down. Stock number 5, cooling and power delivery infrastructure. And 5th, the companies building the liquid cooling and power delivery systems inside the data center itself. As power density per rack keeps climbing, the equipment required to safely deliver and dissipate that power becomes just as essential as the chips it's feeding. If rack deployments get delayed because of the bottlenecks upstream, these stocks will feel it in the short term, which is exactly why I'm watching their next earnings report closely before adding to a position, rather than buying blind into the dip. Closing. Here's the bigger picture. AI stocks have spent 2 years trading on a story where compute could scale as fast as companies were willing to spend. That story just ran into 3 hard physical walls at once: transformers that take years to build, grid connections with multi-year waitlists, and memory chips that are already sold out. The demand hasn't gone anywhere, but the timeline just got a lot bumpier, and that's exactly the kind of mismatch that creates real buying opportunities for investors, patient enough to look past the next few rough quarters. I'm not a financial advisor, and none of this is a recommendation to buy or sell anything. Just how I'm personally thinking through this next stretch of the AI cycle. Do your own research or talk to a licensed advisor before making any moves. Let me know in the comments which bottleneck you think the market is underpricing the most. And if you want to see the full breakdown of my current AI portfolio, check out the video linked on screen right now. Until next time, the best investment you'll ever make is in yourself.